I'm Sweeney Boo, the author of Speak of the Devil, and this is the True North Country Comic Podcast.
Welcome to the True North Country Comics Podcast, dedicated to celebrate Canadian comic book and graphic novel creators and supporters. I'm John Swinimer. On this episode, I chat with Sweeney Boo about her new graphic novel, Speak of the Devil, published by HarperCollins Canada. Based in Montreal, Quebec, Sweeney Boo is a comic artist, illustrator, and writer. When she's not busy drawing witchy girls and hairless cats, she works with various publishers including Boom Studios, Archie Comics, Dark Horse, Dynamite, IDW, Marvel, Image, DC Comics, and more. She's also the author of graphic novels Eat and Love Yourself and Over My Dead Body, and is the artist of the Harley Quinn Girl in a Crisis run, written by Teenie Howard. Her newest graphic novel is entitled Speak of the Devil. The story of Speak of the Devil goes like this. Months after Abigail and her friends thwarted a dark magic ritual that threatened to destroy Ute Whitney hidden Institute of Witchcraft, new dangers and long-buried secrets bubble to the surface. As autumn turns to winter, a mysterious rune-dotted fissure has appeared in the school grounds, and no one from the coven is able to seal it, no matter how powerful their magic is. So, without further ado, here's my chat with Sweeney Boo about her new graphic novel, Speak of the Devil, published by HarperCollins Canada. So, Sweeney Boo, thank you very much for taking time to chat with me.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate your time. Before I get going with all the questions, I would like to know, what are you reading today?
I am obsessed with Linnea Sturt's art. They're a European artist, and I got their latest book, which is called Garden of Spheres. It's a really thick book, but their art is like very Moebius-like, European. It's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's what I'm reading right now.
How did you find this book? Did someone introduce you to it?
Yeah, it popped up on, I follow a bunch of other artists, so I'm not the only one who's absolutely obsessed with her work. I went and did like a deep dive into everything that she does and started like following her Patreon and everything. I guess it was like non-officially recommended by other people.
Okay. Yeah, that's always nice to have suggestions from folks. I know sometimes when
Yeah.
when I'm asking about what are you reading, it's like, oh, that's a great idea. And whenever I have the time, I try to follow up. But having the time to read, that's the big challenge these days. Well, we're here talking about your latest graphic novel called Speak of the Devil. I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the story. What is it all about?
Yeah, so it's the second installment in my witchy Dark Academia universe. So it follows Over My Dead Body, and it's kind of like the aftermath of what happens in book one. So we go a little bit deeper into the friendship of the characters. In the first book, there's a lot about where they come from, their parents, and just like a lot of like unanswered questions. So the second book helps answering all of that, while, there's always like the same as the first one, there's a big threat at the school and they're like trying to stop it.
Wow. So a lot of adventure in this book, I guess.
Yeah.
For a reader picking up this book, is it necessary for them to go back and read the original one?
I feel like not necessarily. You could still understand where the story goes, but there is a lot of already established relationship between the characters, or like we talk about, because like we have our like my main character, Abigail, she shares her room with another student. And then like in the previous one, in the first book, they used to not get along, but now they do. So there's like some precedence to that. So it would definitely offer just like more depth and more understanding to what is going on.
Now, I've got to ask you then about the audience for the book. You're talking about witches, you're talking about schools. Who is the audience for your book?
I think like early teens and beyond. I would say that honestly, young kids could still read it, maybe not too young, but like 9, 10. But there's definitely some like scary elements to the story. So like it really depends on, I guess, the parents and what they are willing to show their children. But yeah, it's from that age to whenever after that is who it's for.
Would you say someone who's been watching the Wednesday TV series on Netflix would enjoy this book as well?
100%. It's actually really funny because when it came out, Over My Dead Body was already like out for like a year or so, and there's a lot of overlap with the main antagonist being like botanical teacher and everything. So 100%, if you love Wednesday, you're gonna enjoy that.
There you go. There's a tagline right there. Good stuff. Well, I want to switch gears a wee bit and talk about your creative process. I'm wondering, was there a difference in your creative style between the two books? Did you continue digitally or did you change something?
No, I try to keep it as mostly the same as much as I could, even though I feel like I don't really control where, my art goes. It's not necessarily like steady. It does shift, it does change, it evolves a little bit. So maybe the art is a little different, but other than that, like in the first one, I really loved focusing on atmosphere and landscapes and seasons. Like the first one takes place during the fall, so I love yellow colors, it's a lot of warm colors and just foliage, where this one takes place in winter and I had a lot of fun rendering a lot of snow and just like more cold. Yeah, that kind of vibe.
Now, in the previous book, Over My Dead Body, you had outside support for coloring. Did you do the coloring on this book yourself?
Yeah, I had like someone helping me for like I guess like the first stage of the colors, but in the end it was still my colors. So there wasn't really much difference to this one. I still had help with the flatting and just all that more technical stuff that is like tedious and tends to take time. So it's like easier to like outsource that. But yeah, in the end, the vibes and the colors and the lights is all me.
Now, I know that you're doing covers, like probably as we're speaking, you're probably working on a cover. What is your favorite part of the creative process when it comes to illustrating?
I love drawing characters, and I definitely get offered to work on some like amazing characters, established ones from like DC or Marvel or any other series, or other people that I admire that, want me to do a cover for their work. So it's fun to have this opportunity to just play with different types of world and things that I wouldn't necessarily create myself. Something more sci-fi or something more like superheroes and everything. So having the opportunity to showcase and just like draw a character in a totally different universe like that is what I like the most.
Before we started recording, I mentioned that I received your newsletter and should definitely promote that. And within it, you talk about your various projects that you're doing and the different events you'll be attending. So I got to ask you, what do you have planned this year for attending festivals or conventions?
I am sticking local in a way. I'm doing the Montreal Comic Arts Festival for the first time, which takes place in May, which it's like when the city finally like starts breathing again after the winter, and it's really lovely. It takes over an entire street in Montreal. So it's all outdoors. And there's a bunch of indie artists and just more like mainstream. It's very varied. I would really compare it to TCAF, which is a Toronto Comic Art Festival. It's the Montreal equivalent. So I'll be attending that. I'm really excited. It's early May, and I'll be doing the Montreal Comic Con as well. I'll be going to the US a couple times to do San Diego in July and New York Comic Con in October.
That sounds like you'll be busy, that's for sure.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah. I always recommend the Montreal Comic Arts Festival for a variety of reasons because it's outdoors for the main part, but it's one of the only ones that I see where younger readers run to go see a comic creator or a graphic novel creator. You don't see that too often these days, that's for sure.
No, exactly. When I first moved to Canada and I went to TCAF for the first time, it just like blew my mind. It's one of those like, there's also VanCaf in Vancouver, and it's those festivals that are like very creator forward. It feels like you can exactly like just chat with the creator way more easily, and it's all about books, it's all about being creative, where like I do love a Comic-Con, but there's way more to that because there's merch and there's like there's people from movies and everything, but this is just like let's just enjoy comic books for a little bit and like graphic novels, and it's really lovely.
Absolutely. I totally agree. So we've been talking about Speak of the Devil, and I'm wondering if you could talk about what's coming up down the road in your future projects. Is there something you can tell us right now?
Yeah, I'm keeping the spookiness alive. I'm working with Cami Garcia on another graphic novel that is, I think, scheduled for next year. We're in the middle of it right now. It's called High School Bites. It's about high school, it's about vampires. I feel like it has a bit of, Jennifer's Body in a way. It's reminiscent of Buffy as well. And it's really fun. I'm playing with different types of coloring, different types of inking right now. I'm trying to just experiment a little bit. It's also cool to work with someone else writing for such like because I've done it for like issues and comics, but on a longer form for a graphic novel. So it's really cool to get to work with Cami on that. And I'm also developing another creator-owned mini series this time. It's going to be 5 issues, not been announced. All I can say is that it's completely different to anything I've done yet. It's more adult, it's medieval, it's fairy tales. The other day I wrote a panel and I just wrote someone's head is just like being like just ripped off and I was
Oh
just like
my.
I've never done that before. This is actually really fun. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty gory.
Wow. That sounds very intense.
Yeah, yeah, but even though there's going to be a lot of, I guess, violence in a way, I want to try to do something else visually as well to make it, I guess, more palatable as well. But yeah, I don't know. I want to challenge myself on that project, so we'll see where it goes.
Now, you'd mentioned Buffy. At the time of this recording, we're still getting over the fact that the reboot is not
Yeah.
happening. Want to get your thoughts on that? Is that something that you were looking forward to?
Yes and no, I think my generation has seen so many reboots of a lot of things that we used to like as kids, and sometimes to the detriment of it. Sometimes it's been great. It was definitely exciting that Sarah Michelle Gellar was involved in, because she is the character and it seems really close to her heart. But in a way, the original material is still there, it's still out there, and it's still what it is, and it's still great. So it's not like it's taken anything away.
So, with everything that you have on the go today and in the future in projects or events, where should people go online to find out more about you?
I'm on Instagram, Blue Sky. I have a newsletter that if I have the time, usually comes out every month. It's free, it's on Substack. I tend to just share about what I've been working on, if I have commissions open, or like the shows that I'm going to go to, and I have a little snippet at the end where I just talk about what I've been, enjoying lately. So I guess this is also like maybe the main thing where you can get the news. But yeah, other than that, it's like Facebook, Instagram, and all of that, and my website. Yeah.
Very good. Well, Sweeney, those are all the questions I have for you, but I'm wondering, is there something I didn't ask that you'd like to get across in this interview?
It's pretty much everything I have going on. Just drawing my little books, drawing my little covers, and having a good time doing it. So, yeah.
Thanks to Sweeney for the chat. You can discover more about Sweeney Boo online at sweeneyboo.com and on Instagram at Sweeney_Boo. You can discover more about Speak of the Devil at HarperCollins Canada. And thank you for tuning in to the True North Country Comics podcast. I invite you to visit the True North Country Comics website to listen to even more conversations with creators about making comic books and graphic novels. You can follow along True North Country Comics on most social media platforms, and you're encouraged to send any and all feedback to John at TrueNorthCountryComics.com. Thanks for tuning in, and come back soon for another episode. Bye for now. True North Country Comics Podcast is copyright True North Country Comics, copyright 2026.